Hello, friends, and welcome to Chatophax Games. Thank you so much for joining me this evening. I am continuing my playthrough of Her Story. I think I may be able to finish it this evening. I guess I'm not sure how much more there's left to discover. It feels like I've discovered the main plot points, but then again, I might find something that completely recontextualizes everything. I did pick up a couple of hints while I was editing the first episode of this, so I'm recording episode 3 now, so maybe there's some stuff I missed in episode 2, so when I go through that one, maybe I'll see some stuff I missed. That is one of the advantages of playing these games for the channel, and then going through them as I edit them, as I get to see them twice, so sometimes I get to pick up things I missed. I am going to go all the way back into the history, all the way back to murder. And there was this one. Now, the red shirt, I believe I established, is Eve. The white shirt is definitely Eve. The red shirt is Eve because she didn't have the bruise and she touched the wrong side of her face when asked about it. I don't know if I'll actually be able to pick out the bruise in this side of the footage, but also want to check the arm for her tattoo, so yes, this is Eve as well, but I wanted to look at this video again.
Yeah, that's me. But February, that was months ago. What's that got to do with Simon's murder?
Alright, so I want to look for February. Yes, so I did find a follow-up there.
Well, I don't know. I probably had to pop out and get something, that's why I was speeding. And that wouldn't have been noted on my timesheet. But I really can't remember back to February.
Timesheet. She was caught speeding, so this is probably a discrepancy between Eve and Hannah. Hannah was at work and her timesheet says she was at work. And then this was timesheet, maybe 2 words. So just that. Speeding.
You must be desperate for leads if you're getting hung up over 6-month-old speeding tickets.
Yeah, so that didn't really give me anything. So once again, I'm going back. I'm just going to see what I can find, what I can pick out that I might have missed.
You think it's murder? Clearly it's murder. What can I do to help?
This is also Eve.
I didn't murder Simon. You've got it wrong. You've got the wrong person.
And that's Eve. So all 3 of these sessions are Eve, I think. Which was interesting because we didn't even know it was Eve at the beginning of the game. We didn't even know about Eve's existence. But she's also correct if the way she describes things going down happened. She's also correct that it wasn't her. It was Hannah.
I'd like to speak to a lawyer now. Please. You have no murder weapon. You have nothing. And all these stories we've been telling each other,
Alright, so I want to see if lawyer pulls up anything. Yes, it does. So, what session is this? I'm not sure I recognize that shirt. That is July 2. That is a brand new session. I don't have anything for July 2 noted. In a black shirt. My pens are not wanting to work again. There we go. July 2, black shirt. This is in MT3. So I don't know if this is Eve or Hannah. There's this interesting thing where there's two cups sometimes, and I'm not sure what that's about.
Can I leave? Are you going to arrest me? No. They'd laugh you out of the building. A lawyer would make mincemeat of you.
Okay, Eve or Hannah? I don't know.
Can I leave? Are you going to arrest me? No. They'd laugh you out of the building. A lawyer would make mincemeat of you. Yes, I understand my rights. No, I don't need a lawyer.
Okay, but she asked for one not long later.
Yes, no lawyer. What are you going to arrest me for?
What if I searched for arrest? Awesome, so I did find some more things.
Like I said, I think I was popping out to get something, ran out of something, had to grab something. I sometimes drive too fast. If you want, you can arrest me for that.
Okay, that's Hannah again. Or no, that's Eve again. Oh,
This is nice of them. Is this where you take people when it's time to arrest them?
This is the start of Eve's confession.
Can you arrest someone who doesn't exist?
That is an excellent. That is amazing, because yes, she technically doesn't exist. That is a really good question. So I've got some more context, but haven't really discovered anything new. I need to get into this session. I need to find more paths into this session, because until now I hadn't even noted down a July 2. Yeah, until now I had nothing about July 2. So I need to figure out if that's Eve or Hannah. Hang on. Yeah, that's 618, and it's a different shirt. It's close, but it's not quite the same. So the problem here is that I don't think she has a bruise, but I can't tell. And also,
are you going to arrest me? No. They'd laugh you out of the building.
yeah, so this is later. This is later. Than the bruise anyways, so the bruise might have healed. I can't tell whether or not there's a bruise. Chit chat. What's chit chat? How's it going down there? You done? Huh. What happens if I hit no? Okay, I guess I can tell him when I'm done. So I guess I can just decide when I'm done at this point because I've discovered the main points. Yes, okay, lie detector. This was what I was curious about. Because we had her strapped into the lie detector before.
Yes. I'll take a lie detector test. I've never taken a lie detector test before. Does it really work? My name. That was the only question I failed. Your lie detector works.
What if I searched for my name is Eve? Nothing popped up. Yep, but that's how they... That's how they got her. Alright, then after that I searched for Simon. I'm just curious if there's anything at all I can find still.
Simon Smith. He works at Ernst Brothers Glass. They do windows, all kinds of glass. Simon does the more special work. Mirror making, feature windows, artistic things. Really beautiful things.
That does remind me I wanted to look for reflection. Yes, perfect.
Yes. The first time we saw each other, it was strange. We both realised at the same moment, I think. We must have seen each other before, but there was this instant when we first realised it wasn't a reflection. The reflection was staring back. I think I was 5. It was my birthday. My reflection was wearing a party hat and waving. I knew what party hats were from books. And it suddenly occurred to me, today must be my birthday. I waved back and we just spent ages waving at each other and copying each other's movements. Mother wanted me to grow my hair long, but I kept cutting it myself. I wanted to look like my reflection. She always had short hair when she was little. Mother would hide the scissors, but I would find a way. Cut it with a bread knife, something like that. My reflection would always leave her house and go on adventures, but I never could. Mother taught me at home, and I had books and TV. Oh, TV was magical, but it was only on when it wanted to be, so I spent a lot of time reading books. I wanted to see my reflection. I thought that if I touched her, something would happen. We would become one. One girl. The fairy tale was over, the witch was dead, and I'd be restored to my rightful place.
Yep, fairy tale maybe? Yep. I'm just searching through some things. Looking for anything I might have missed. I want to go back to Simon, because there was...
It's the Rockington Arms.
Not that one.
Yes, there's an Amstrad one. No one uses it for very much. There's a printer so you can...
So what about computer? Nope. Or printer?
Yes, there's an Amstrad one. No one uses it for...
Amstrad. Just that one. So what is she talking about there?
Yes, there's an Amstrad one. No one uses it for very much. There's a printer so you can write letters on it. Simon sometimes plays games. You know, climb the tower, save the princess, that kind of thing.
What if, since we're going into this Rapunzel, yep, tower, princess. Okay, yes, got a couple new hits here. I believe this is still Eve.
Let me see. Yes. I drove in here because I remember, well, I went over the river. And then there was a church there. Yeah. And I probably parked... Well, I remember seeing a street sign called Princess Street. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure it must be this one. There. Yeah, we were 17. It was a nice wedding, people said. Simon looked very handsome in the photos. His parents paid for everything, but he's an only child, so it was important to them. It was what they called a shotgun wedding, but if you looked at the photos, you couldn't tell. The dress was beautiful. It looked like Princess Diana's. The train wasn't quite as long though. There's a great photo of the bridesmaid helping to carry it out of the car.
Yep. Yep. No tattoo?
Anyone really changes. You just become more yourself. Simon was my prince, and that hasn't changed. There were always princes and princesses. They were the special people, more important than the other characters in their stories. We knew we were like that. Twins. Magical. We were the princesses. We had a poster of Princess Diana from the newspaper up in our attic. Had a pride of place. And underneath we used to put all our special things. When her engagement was announced, we were obsessed with everything she did. And later, when her life went so bad, we felt for her. Her divorce last year just kind of drew a line under things.
All right. So I am slowly narrowing in on more context. I think the chit-chat means that the game is saying, I've found the main story. I guess all I'm really doing is cleaning up extra videos here. But I'm curious if it would be possible to go through and put each session into order. I haven't really figured out how to use this. There should be a way to delete it from here. All right. What about Diana? All right. Princess Diana. Going back to Eric. No, wrong spelling. It's 14 entries from Eric, but yeah, I'm just finding stuff I've all found before. That's why I kind of wanted to go through methodically. What about Gladstone, their address? Nothing new. Bags, because that's where the body was found. Yes. Okay.
When will the police let me back in the house? They let me take a bag of clothes with me, but... Okay. I parked up on the street. It was busy, so I had to park down the end of the road. Walked up, knocked on the door, no answer. I took my keys out of my bag and unlocked the door. The main lock was unlocked. You can tell because the key doesn't turn when you try to turn it to the left. I walked in. Simon's coat wasn't on the peg. I couldn't see his shoes in the shoe rack. I shouted out. I walked straight into the kitchen because he usually sits in there to have a cup of tea and read his paper, but he wasn't there. I touched the kettle. It was cold. I looked quickly in the living room. Nothing. So I walked upstairs to the bedroom and he wasn't there. I didn't search for him because it was pretty clear he wasn't there. I had a shower. The phone rang whilst I was in the shower. I didn't answer it. I think it was Eric. Then I was just exhausted. So I lay down on the bed and I fell asleep, though I didn't mean to. I woke up a couple of hours later and I was surprised to see no one in the bed next to me. And then I remembered where I was and what had happened. That's when Eric called again. This time I spoke to him. Then I called Doug and Eleanor. And then I decided to come and see you. Eleanor?
Doug and Eleanor. I think those are probably Simon's parents. Is this a new session? No. Hang on. It's a different shirt than I've seen before. No. Yeah. 'Cause... yeah, this is a different shirt than I've seen before. So on July 1 in a pattern shirt, it's Eve. And this is July 1. Hang on. So this is... no, this is Hannah. No, that's June 30. So July 1 is Eve, potentially?
Okay. I parked up on the street. It was busy, so I parked down the end of the road. I walked up to the house. I knocked on the door. No answer. I took my keys out of my bag, unlocked the door. The main lock was unlocked. I could tell because the key wouldn't turn when I tried to turn it to the left. I walked in. Simon's coat wasn't on the peg. I couldn't see his shoes on the shoe rack. I shouted out for him. I walked straight into the kitchen. He usually sits in there to have a cup of tea and read his paper. He wasn't there. I touched the kettle. It was cold. I looked quickly into the living room. Nothing. I walked upstairs to the bedroom. He wasn't there. I didn't search for him because it was pretty clear he wasn't there. Then I had a shower. Whilst I was in the shower, the phone rang. I think it was Eric, his boss. I didn't answer it. Then I came out and I was just exhausted. So I lay down on the bed and I fell asleep, but I didn't mean to. I woke up a couple of hours later and I was surprised to see no one in the bed next to me. And then I remembered where I was and what had happened. That's when Eric called again. I spoke to him. Then I called Simon's parents. And then I decided to come and see you. That enough?
Okay, so this is clearly where the police are suspecting there's two of them. Because this is Hannah without a tattoo, so this must be Eve. This is the exact same. Yes, so... Doug. This is also Hannah.
Yeah. I've been round to Doug and Eleanor's and they're very worried. I feel sorry for them. I got a job to contribute, you know. Doug knew someone and I got a job as a dinner lady at the primary school. They said it didn't matter if I could cook or not, just don't poison the kids. So you see, it's always been complicated between me and Simon. It's never just been the two of us, there's always been pressure. I hoover, I dust every week, maybe less. I once asked Eleanor how often I should dust and she said, if people ask, tell them you do it once a week, but every few weeks is okay. I think she was just trying to make me feel better. I mean, when I was there, she was hoovering every day, you know, ran an ordered house. You know how that generation is, putting on a brave front. She has secret stashes of cigarettes. Doug doesn't even know she smokes. When I was there, I saw her. She has these sort of porcelain vases, ornamental, next to the Reader's Digest books. Cigarettes inside. And she still has them. I mean, last time I was there, I looked in a vase. There was a fresh pack. I mean, all those years of marriage, and she still has a secret like that.
Okay, I'm curious with the cups. So there's two cups, but she's drinking from one with like a spoon or a stirrer in it. And if I can get... hang on.
I got a job to contribute, you know. Doug knew someone and I got a job as a dinner lady at the primary school. They said it didn't matter if I could cook or not, just don't poison the kids.
Yeah, she's stirring
So
something there. So...
1984 was an awful year in the end. We were living at Doug and Eleanor's. I lost the baby at the end of spring and my parents died in the summer. It was a hot summer, a heat wave. So when they discovered the bodies, it was just awful. Because of the circumstances, them dying together like that, they brought in a lot of police. A forensic entomologist. I had to look that up. It was because of the heat. It was just awful.
So, if I look at this, on July 18, is she stirring her?
Simon is 6 foot, darkish blonde hair, average build. He's clean shaven. If his beard grows, it goes ginger, so he shaves it. I mean, not that there's anything wrong with ginger hair. I brought a photo.
She also has something to stir a cup with. I was wondering if maybe, because one cup doesn't have a stir and the other does. Maybe that's a way to distinguish between Hannah and Eve. I'm not sure. What if I searched for just Eleanor? Yep, I've got another one here.
Yes. I speak with Eleanor at least once a day. Not that there's anything much to say. It's more just...
What if I searched for... Interesting. Okay, here we go.
No, I'm okay. Fuck.
Does she change her shirt?
Are you arresting me?
No.
Fuck off. Open this door.
What do I know about the July 1? I have her in a blue shirt on July 1, but is that because she spilled her coffee? So this isn't a different session, it's she changed her shirt, possibly.
A black coffee, thanks. No sugar. I'm sweet enough as it is.
Okay, so she drinks her coffee black, whoever that may be.
About 8 years back. It was a present to myself. I shouldn't even be drinking coffee with the baby. It's been hard trying to give it up. I think they say you can have 1 cup. No. I've had enough coffee for today, thanks. Glass of water.
Alright, so 1 cup, so if there's multiple cups of coffee, then it's Hannah, because Eve is the one that's pregnant.
Coffee, I guess. Milk and sugar.
Bingo. Black shirt. July 2 is Eve. Hey.
Coffee, I guess. Milk and sugar.
Because Hannah has black coffee. Okay. I am still finding new... Yeah, so this is Hannah with 2 cups in front of her. I'm still finding new videos, even though I've basically solved the story.
Could I have a cup of tea? A cup of tea would be good, thanks. Just 1 sugar.
%50 of database access is the achievement that just popped up.
Maybe a fresh cup of tea?
Huh. Kettle. Yeah, so I don't know if I just want to go ahead and call it here. I think I'm going to do that. I don't think there's a lot more to get out of this game at this point unless I'm completely missing some huge reveal. So, yep. Oh, so it's Eve's daughter. Sarah.
I would have been a good mother. I was young, but I would have been a good mother. She was a girl, by the way, the baby. We were going to call her Sarah. Simon wanted to call her Ava after his nana, but I didn't want her to have a symmetrical name.
So Sarah's both the name of the miscarried baby and the daughter of Eve.
Twins? Really? Are you really asking me that question? Are you out of your mind? Twins?
Hang on. So black shirt is Eve, but she has the two cups in front of her. So yeah, I'm not sure. She's only supposed to have one because she's pregnant.
No, he doesn't have any tattoos. He has a scar down here near his stomach, past his hip. Cut himself with some glass. That was before, a long time ago. He looks just like the photo. He's not got his glasses on here though. He takes them off for the camera. But he needs them to see properly, you know. He has to read a newspaper or a menu in a restaurant. Not book so much, or watching TV. He likes TV.
They mentioned a holiday to Rome. I wonder if that's important. No. What about that scar? Nope. And I found everything on the bruise, I think. Picture. Well, I'm going to log off. All right. Well, I had a lot of fun playing this. It was a pretty short game, obviously. The reveals were pretty mind-blowing. There wasn't really a puzzle element, just trying to get enough information to find what the next thing I need to search for is. So, a tiny bit of a puzzle element. There's a puzzle element to figuring out which twin is which, but that doesn't really solve anything. It just helps provide the context. Like I said, I had a lot of fun. I guess in this final episode, there wasn't any big reveals or anything, just more context, more info, but nothing that changed the whole paradigm like in the first 2 episodes. All that being said, I hope you enjoyed watching this. I'm just going to sit through the credits to see if anything happens. If you like my content, please comment, like, subscribe, do all the YouTube things. And I will see you at the next game. Have a great evening. Huh. So maybe I'm not logging off? What was that? Hang on, it was at the end of the credits. Huh.
I can take the stuff off now. Did I prove I'm innocent?
Interesting. Well, here's another one.
When you've been married for 10 years, stuff accumulates. You could argue about anything. And he's so nice. That doesn't help. He tries to smooth things over, and that just makes it worse. We're both passive-aggressive, so we never normally argue directly about anything.
That is interesting that the random can pull up just a clip out of nowhere. I suppose I could keep doing this all night. Alright, well, like I said, I hope you've all enjoyed this series, and I will see you in the next game.